So, there is a lot of things that I would love to really, I don't know, in my mind right now, um, there's a lot of things that I think I just kind of came to terms with just out of pure exhaustion. So today is Christmas Eve of the year of our Lord, 2023. Basically, a week away from it being the new year. And this year, as a whole, first of all, I don't know anyone else, but to me personally, this year has been trifling as hell. It has been so almost unnecessarily difficult sometimes. And there's been a lot of good, a lot of good. A lot of good can happen and a lot of bad. But it took a turn for the worst, personally. And that's because a lot of a thing. That's because of a lot of things. I have been very fortunate to continue to be able to do the work and be around people who they really heal me and help me a lot, regardless of how much it feels as though there's a lot of bullshit going on. I'm so fortunate to have the safety and the family and the connections that I do. And, the bad the bad has just been very, for the past couple months, very frequent. I also am a person who suffers with what's the word, seasonal affective disorder. I hate it here, girl. I hate it here. I hate the weather here. I hate how dark it gets. On top of it all, nothing feels better than just rotting in my bed sometimes. And rotting in my bed is it's an acquired skill. Not many have it, but the ones of us who do, we do it well. So, yeah, and I've been prompted and I've been feeling compelled to create and record and express myself in a way that I like and that I feel comfortable doing, and in a way that I would feel, I feel like I try my best to do things in a way that I would feel good looking back on, And so the topic that I would love to discuss right now before the turn of the year, before the year comes to an end, is I hope you get shattered too. I hope for 2024 that you too reach a point of unraveling. And what I mean by that is I hope that we let go of this idea that the world that we live in and that the year that we are currently, observing is somehow an indication of progression as a human race. I don't know if any of y'all are aware of this, but the world globally is suffering. Yeah, sure. Many people are rising themselves out of poverty, but the cost of that rise is also the cost of mental health. It's the cost of bodily autonomy. It's the cost of educational access. So many things have been traded off in the name of democracy and in the name of free speech and self-determination and just overall peacekeeping. If you're a person who is alive right now with the rest of us and you haven't just, I don't know, smelled the coffee, gotten, a good ass wake up call, I highly recommend that you get on the bandwagon with the rest of us, because as someone who I specifically remember being like 12 years old and thinking, I don't know why, but I don't feel like this is like child me. I'm like, oh my God, I don't know why I don't feel like I'm accepted, or I don't feel really embraced by my community, but maybe when I get older and I understand things more, it's gonna make sense. And I'm gonna be surrounded by people who also understand and see the problems, and then we work together to fix them. And that was just like my like little fantasy land that I lived in. So excuse me for being 12 years old. And now I am about to be 24. A clean 12 years of me waiting for something that would never come. And having conversations with more and more people around me has continuously showed me that we are very much, I would argue, a worser position than we have ever been. Period. Now, some of y'all want to say, "Oh, we're not enslaved," or "Oh, you live in Canada," and who cares? Who gives a shit? You wouldn't know most people who are within this landscape of like delusion. A lot of y'all don't really want to interface with the reality that most people are in crippling debt. Most people have severe mental issues. Most people are isolated from community. Most people don't have the access and resources to do what they want to do. Some people are stuck in careers that they hate and they can't escape. A lot of the things that we believe to be part of the human experience are so unnatural to us, are so foreign and alien, and it's only become more and more pronounced with access to information, what people share online, what we're learning in books, what we're being told in schools. It's not looking good, y'all. It's looking really not good. And I think one thing that's really pushed me to kind of get hip to the concept of it was Palestine. 100%. Over the past 12 weeks now, there has been a continual campaign to just allow these people to be dehumanized and murdered and killed, all in the name of security. And for the people who want to get really insane, go ahead. If you want to go rabid, if you want to foam at the mouth, I invite you to do so. But at the end of the day, you know, the fact that a country has a Twitter account and it has tweeted about being proud of murdering and carpet bombing people, and that you can get blocked from a country online, yeah, this is the Twilight Zone. This is the Twilight Zone. And the fact that so many people, after weeks and weeks of this visceral destruction, are just now really beginning to critically engage with what's happening not only in Palestine but in the rest of the captured, militarized world. It's like, y'all never felt like there was something wrong? Like, y'all never felt like there was a problem? Like, why is it that so many people, including myself, who are finishing university, are just trying to walk the path that we've been told is so right to walk? You know, so many people do all the right things and they still want to end their lives, and they still feel miserable, and they still feel like everything that they're doing is counterintuitive to, you know, happiness and human satisfaction. It doesn't make sense. And people will say, well, why do these people who live in these other countries in the global south, you know, why are they not also suffering with mental illness? Girl, because they just need to survive. They're not thinking about their 401k. They're not thinking about how many forms they have to fill. They're not thinking about how they have to pay rent, bitch. They're trying to eat something. And for those who are right in the middle or those who are a bit above that within these countries, it just gets even more obscure because they have to deal with their corrupt governments and the continual just like degrading of where they're from by the West. You know, they're told that they need to do better with their governments, that they need to stop being so corrupt whenever they've made those attempts, they've been thwarted completely. And whether it's from, you know, internal disagreements or external influence, it's just like, y'all made sure that these people never got their act together. It was part of the plan. You wanted that. So I'm not getting it. We're not getting it. She's not getting it. He's not getting it. It's weird. It's really weird. And personally, one thing that I also just have been very disappointed in realizing is that not everyone, and I don't expect to find, I do believe that there is a little bit of wishful thinking that I might bring to people when it comes to how I view life and how I see things. My specific life experience is part of the reason why I have come to the conclusions that I've come to in the way that I have chosen to express them. Chosen to express them. And I don't know. I've always kind of assumed that people would get to those logical points at the same rate, but we can only wish that we can meet people where we are, right? And I had a bit of an unraveling myself about that in a interpersonal relationship that, you know, it just fully degraded. It just collapsed. And part of that was because I had assumed that what we had told each other was what we both wanted, whereas a lot of people just want to say and do things because it makes the other person seem to be, you know, at ease, right? Like some people might be like, oh yeah, well, I don't want to hurt their feelings, or I don't want to break it down to them, or I don't want to cause them to feel hurt. And it's just like that deprivation of them being able to feel that is worse. It's worse. If you want to tell someone something, or if you don't feel something, or if you are no longer wanting to be part of something, then just say it, you know, because not only will you feel better about yourself, you'll feel more like harmonious if you want to get like, you know, poetic with it, but not only will you feel better, but you'll allow that person the agency to choose how they react to your decision. And it doesn't have to be a hard thing. It doesn't have to be something that hurts. I mean, people will have emotions and they're entitled to feel those things, but for you to feel entitled in your comfortability by making it so that you feel like you're doing something good by not hurting their feelings, it's a crock of shit. It's a crock of shit, man. And I think like as human beings, we have to really be careful with how we spend our time and how we choose to be around people and how we choose to, you know, like how we choose to present and how we choose to pull up, if that makes sense. I don't want confusion. I don't want people to feel like they don't know what's going on. And if they want to know what's going on, you know, if they feel confused, like if they ask me, I want to also be able to feel like I can be honest with them. And that takes time, and that takes a lot of effort, and it takes a lot of, you know, nurture. And many of us have not had the opportunity to experience those things. And so I'm trying my best to not feel like I have to be a certain way for people, or that I have to show up and perform and appease people, you know, like, do you, I'm gonna do me. And if it works, then it works. And if it doesn't, it doesn't. And I have two examples. of that. One is platonic and one is romantic. The romantic one is more general, but the platonic one was a specific friendship that I just had to let go. And so I'll start with the friendship, because that one hurt. Friendship breakups hurt, bitch. Yo, that shit still stings to this day. But the long and short of it is, I had a really close friend back in high school, and I thought that this person and I were gonna continue to be in each other's lives for much longer than we actually ended up, being friends. And there is, a season for everything. There's a season for people to be in your lives for a reason, and then there's times where they just have to go. And I think for them, in their heart, they already knew that they didn't want to continue the friendship in the way that I had envisioned it to be, right? Like, I wanted us to move in together. I wanted us to continue being close and to continue the way that we had been friends in high school, like outside of high school as adults, right? And that wasn't really what she wanted. And instead of being honest with me, she just never really took the time to do so. It was little like crumbs here and there, but it wasn't direct. And I've realized myself that I love clarity. Hey, I love clarity. It's not always fun to be direct, but it's also the responsible thing to do. And I feel like that shows that you respect the person that you're in community with. It's like, I'm sorry, if I don't want to hang with you or be around you, I'm just going to tell you I don't want to hang out with you, or I'm going to just not hang out with you. And I won't pretend like I want to, because why the fuck would I? Pretending takes so much energy. To me, when you actually feel something, it should be effortless. There shouldn't be a dragging of your feet to do something. You should just be like, let's go, let's do it. And a lot of people already act like that and they feel that way. But there are some people who they have a real issue doing that. And I think the one thing that really hurt me was, like, my friend was telling me how she just always had anxiety whenever I would, ring her phone, or whenever, like, I wanted to talk to her and reach out to her. And that insulted me, mainly because I was like, first of all, you're my friend. So if something I'm doing is causing you discomfort, I wish you would have reported that to me. I wish you would have been forthcoming about telling me that. And that didn't happen for a while. And so that made the resentment on her end build up. And she just kind of just like dropped the bomb and was like, what, maybe like in the middle of my exams, she was just like, yeah, I don't really think we would have been friends if we hadn't met in high school. And that's just like, all right, but why were we just texting about how you're so excited to move in with me? Like, pick one, And it was tough. I really had a hard time processing that loss of friendship. But at the end of the day, it taught me that, I don't ever want to put anyone in my life in that position, right? And it's a bit harder now to really discern between people who really want to be friends and people who are acquaintances. But at the same time, it's still easy because you can tell by just the way that people are, right? And the way that people move and the way that people do things. And yeah, I personally also, people calling while I'm trying to record, that's kind of crazy. Anyway, and then from that, experience personally now, I feel much more confident and very, able to figure out how I want things to be with the people that I'm around. And I try to push that in most of my interpersonal connections. Yeah. And then the second one was, so I wasted my time and going on a date with someone last night, and it was fine. But at the same time, I kind of encountered that again, and I feel as though I have so much less of a threshold for bullshit when it comes to going on dates with men. I'm sorry, girl. I'm so sorry. Like, on top of, like, just hearing stories from other women and the complete boom of the manosphere. That's another thing too. The manosphere has never been like a concept that has been foreign to, modern society. If you go back and look at any of the articles or these archived, like, op-eds, there's always these men crying and screaming about how no one wants them to be men anymore. Like, become original, do something unique, try a new cut, a new color. Like, try something that doesn't, like, allow you to be so victimized, but also so vindictive and feeling like you must, like, you must fight for the rights of your fellow. Like, relax, dog. Relax. At the end of the day, the real enemy is the fucking man. And not the man, like, man, but like the man, like the machine. And yeah, he was like just saying a bunch of shit. He was just saying a bunch of shit, and I was like saying a bunch of shit back, and we had pretty, like, it was a pretty like standard like conversation, at least to me, about what I care about and what's also like on topic, or not on topic, what's the word, like what's trending, but what's on the conscious mind. That sounds so full of shit, bro. Just what's important. And we had agreed on a bunch of stuff, but for him, he was very clear. No, sorry, my bad. He was pretty vague about just wanting a casual physical relationship. And that's fine, but I don't know you. You know what I mean? I don't know you. And we went to a fucking museum, and we went to a fucking like nice restaurant where the drinks were overpriced. If you just wanted casual shit, why the fuck would we go to a museum? And why the fuck are we in this fancy ass restaurant? And why the fuck did we talk for almost 4 hours? You know what I mean? Like, please, like, I wish more people would just be very, very, just sit in your shit, man. Just sit in your shit, say it with your chest, and then you'll give the other person the respect in order to choose if they want to do that or not. And it is annoying to feel as though you're in a position where you're like, yeah, I'm getting along with you, I don't mind spending more time with you, and then the person being like, actually, all that shit I said before, yeah, that was some fuck shit. Hey, maybe don't do that. And maybe don't pretend. And I think that's something that I too am trying to process, is feelings that I arise from feeling rejected, right? Like, and rejected in a way of being like, well, I want to meet people, and girl, if I'm going on a date, I'm going on a date, and I want to have a good time. But like, if you're not feeling it, like, then just let me know you're not feeling it. And sure, you let me know, but I'm gonna still get my little one in there. I'm gonna still make sure to get my one little one in there. I am not healed. I will say something to you, and I will mean it to hurt. So, yeah. I think there's a lot of things that, there's a point in time that I hope that we'll reach where we'll just be braver. Braver to not do something just because it's easy to do. And braver to push ourselves to want more for not only our neighbors and our global family community, but also for ourselves and the people that we interface with. like I don't want to be, I don't want to drag myself to do shit anymore. You know, I hope that I am able to grow and continue to have experiences that just push me to be even more selective, to be even more precise, to be even more clear. And going through uncomfortable things is the process. That's the process that you have to go through in order to achieve that. And I hope that one day that can be something that everyone is able to participate in. And if not, I'm gonna get my lick back. I'm gonna find a way to get my lick back. Yeah, I'm gonna find a way. I have like so many revenge fantasies. I have them like in the shower. I'm just like, yeah, and then I'm gonna do this and I'm gonna do that and da-da-da. You know, I don't really have a specific plan, but I'll be thinking about it. Yeah. So this was just a little ditty bop I wanted to share with y'all, and I wanted to let go out of my spirit. You know, fuck the status quo. You know, challenge the things that you feel as though that you're supposed to be doing and feeling. If it doesn't feel right, it's most likely because you're not supposed to be doing that. One day there will be a time where repressing feelings will be uncool. It'll be lame to not be honest with yourself and others. But until then, we stuck with some bullshit. We stuck with this bullshit, I guess. So yeah, if any of this resonated with you, you know what to do. Goddamn, you know, comment, subscribe, whatever the hell, and start standing on business in 2024. Start standing on business for real. Don't pose. Stop being a fake. Stop being a faker. Maybe stop being a poser. Yeah. Talk to y'all later. Peace.